All right, we are live here. Welcome in, everyone. Episode 1 of our first podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're listening from. My name is Tyson Lester. I'm the president of PolicyAdvantage.com. I appreciate you being here with me today. As the front slide says, this is a quick solo welcome from myself here and from our team. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about what we do at PolicyAdvantage.com, a little bit more about myself, our strategic vision for the future, and the things that we are working towards within the agency. This is my first run at a podcast. I've done some interviews in the past with media and with universities and some other entities, but I have yet to hop onto a podcast of my own and host it here. I kind of call it a radio show type scenario and format in a conversational setting with you guys here. And so this is my first go at it, and it's kind of exciting and interesting to hop on here and get a chance to talk with our followers and our stakeholders on social media finally. In fact, that was the big discussion that we had with our teams, with our digital media teams, is that, hey, we needed to get and find a way to interact with our stakeholders in a more interactive way and engaging way rather than just posting on social media all day long. I mean, it's one thing to post a post on X or Facebook, but it's another to hop onto a podcast here and start doing some talking with you guys. So I'm glad to be here. We hope this all works out well. It seems to be a good start. Fairly comfortable here talking. I told our teams that I'm on the phones all day long and in person with our clients all day long. So why not hop onto a podcast and give it a go. So again, welcome in everybody. A little bit more about myself. I have been working in the industry since 2005. I originally licensed as a young guy in my early 20s up in Montana. That's where I'm originally from. And after about a year, I moved down here to Southern California and have been working here ever since. I have a license in health and life insurance, as well as property and casualty insurance. Those are actually two different lines of business. My specialty is actually in health and life insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, and overall strategic planning with employee benefits, helping human resources departments, corporations, and small businesses design and implement their employee benefits and health insurance programs. That's where my skill set's at. But as I mentioned, we do have, or I do have, and the agency has a license in property and casualty insurance. Those are physical items or tangible items and assets, things like automobiles or fleets of automobiles, trucks, buildings, homes, you name it. Anything that is purchased or is an asset or has value is what property and casualty insurance covers. There's a couple other lines too, like errors and omissions insurance, which is professional liability insurance. But again, my specialty is in health, life, and employee benefits. I'm a chartered healthcare consultant, a registered employee benefits consultant, and a registered health underwriter. Those are our top designations within our industry, formally recognized by not only our trade association, but they were conferred to me by the American College of Financial Services out in Pennsylvania. That's a small nonprofit private school out there. I'm a graduate of what's called the Huebner School. Solomon S. Huebner, he was the founder of the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School's insurance department. And he subsequently founded his own small private college from where I'm a graduate, as I just explained. And it's a small college for financial services professionals of all kinds. And I'll link that up here in this post with a few other links of interest in any topics that we go over today. But it's a real specialization. And if you're working with folks from that university and that college, the American College, you'll know that you're working with people who have comprehensive understanding and detailed understanding of the entire industry, which is a good thing when you're working with an advisor, especially when you're trying to create and maintain competitive advantage as a business and implementing these programs that we work with. The independent agency, that's PolicyAdvantage.com, is located out here in Los Angeles. I've been working here for close to a decade and a half now, like I had mentioned, since 2006 when I moved down here. Most of our face-to-face work and in the streets work and in the field work is right here in Southern California in this region, but we are licensed in Texas, Florida, and New York. So we've expanded our geographical reach over the past 4 or 5 years to those states. There was some strategic planning behind that. We wanted to license in the biggest states with the highest populations so that we could reach the most people. We talked to people online. There's nothing political about it. We have red and blue states now. Uh, the fact of the matter was that we just wanted to reach the most people in the shortest amount of time in the biggest markets. So that's why we're in those big four, but we hope to continue and want to continue to expand our reach into other states as we move along. We also have partnerships with insurance companies in Europe and here domestically, but we work with international travel and expat plans with large multinational insurance companies in Europe as well. So our resources and capabilities are quite spread out geographically, and we have a lot of ability to reach out and work with people where we're functional right now. So one of our most favorite products, because of the transition right now, the globally mobile workforce, what are called digital nomads, the international travel plans for expats and people working abroad are one of our favorite plans to work with right now. So that's where those partnerships come in handy that we have right now with those European insurance companies. One to mention would be Allianz, and then some of these domestic insurance companies that we work with here in the United States as well. History. So let's talk a little bit about insurance history. My dad was a world history teacher, so I like history in general. But this is not about the Greeks and the Romans. This is about the insurance industry. So I wanted to give a little bit of historical context here as we get into this next topic regarding what's going on in the insurance industry. Historically, insurance is or it's at least viewed as a very mundane, boring, wordy industry. A lot of long paperwork, pages of applications, benefits review, looking over words that are not very familiar, all of those kinds of things going on historically, what are called the old legacy operations and legacy insurance companies. And right now, what we're experiencing strategically is a major transition, a digital transformation, in fact. And some people call it the fourth industrial revolution. I refer to that term. If you read through my timeline at X, you'll see that term utilized by myself quite often. But the integration of these fourth industrial revolution technologies like artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, cloud computing, blockchain, that's one of my favorites right now because of the capabilities that blockchain's immutable ledger has. It's incredible what's taking place in insurance with smart contracts and what the potential actually is there that hasn't happened or hasn't taken place yet within the insurance industry. But to sum it up, those old legacy concepts, the old pen and paper, get out and fill out an application and sit down with your agent at the table, are quickly becoming more of a thing of the past. And that's an exciting thing for not only us as agents, but also for people who are members and policyholders, the consumer. As you well know, if you work with a good app, as in an application like on your smartphone or smart device, you know it's a good app when you can move around on it and it's smooth and it's laid out nicely and it's well put together. All of the things that make a good app a good app, you get it out and you say, I like working with that app. It feels good. It moves around nicely. It takes care of the things that I need to take care of. And you just generally get a good feeling like that, what would be considered a user experience or UX or a customer experience CX, depending on if you're a customer or just utilizing the application. But insurance technology companies, or what's called insurtech, are streamlining the insurance industry and creating a more policyholder centric or member centric or even consumer centric environment where they are distributing insurance policies through applications and platforms and high quality technology that in many cases is online. It can be still on paper, but very rarely anymore. But policyholders and members and consumers can now interact with insurance companies more easily and interact even with their policies more easily. It's becoming a more exciting environment, actually. It really is. Insurance is not typically viewed as an exciting subject, as I had mentioned, but with all of this transformation taking place, it really is. It's becoming an exciting technology, especially on the distribution and member side. And as agents, we like to see that because we are very tech driven. Our future goals and our future vision and strategic objectives revolve highly around technology. at PolicyAdvantage.com. And we want to integrate technology where we can and when we can for our policyholders and members, because, again, that equates to a smoother, more efficient member experience, which results in happy members, which is a great thing. That's the number one objective. So it's a good time to be involved. And it's not just happening right now in the insurance industry. It's taking place across, if you look at just about any industry, really. They are proliferating these resources, these technological resources and capabilities across their value chains in just about any industry. I specifically, obviously, talk about insurance and even financial technology. I talk about the healthcare industry, I should say, and the way that they're integrating technology and smart hospitals. You'll see me talk about that as well. But just the entire space right now with all of this technology utilization, the integration within operations and supply chains across, again, many different industries, is really shaping entirely new opportunities for the future. And it can be utilized as a source of competitive advantage, which is one of my favorite terms, competitive advantage. And that's a strategic management term, and you'll hear me talk about that more in the future. But if businesses and companies and even individuals are leveraging these new available technologies, they're going to see opportunities to create improved and increasing competitive advantage. So I'm going to go ahead and start to wind it down here. I see we're getting over 10 minutes. That's kind of our goal. I can talk for quite some time. I'm solo. I'm doing all right. Everybody have a coffee and a tea with me here, sitting back and going through some of the ideas that I had in mind for this first solo welcome. And wanted to kind of finish things up here towards the end and wind things down, because we don't want to get too far out into 30, 40-minute podcasts here. I hope to have some guests potentially on in the future. We're working on that. Insurance industry experts, complementary industry experts, things like technology and human resources, and get together and talk on here in a collaborative effort rather than me just solo. But I'll probably do some solo too. This is not so bad. I don't mind it. So you'll probably hear from me on my own too as we continue to work towards having some guest appearances. Additionally, I encourage you to engage with us online at X. I'm on there tweeting posting just about every day. If it's not every day, it's very often. And I make it a point to try to get back to everyone who's commenting on our posts, and really do encourage any input that you've got, any questions that you have, any collaborative discussions that you would like to start. I always like to hear really good ideas and interact with the community. So I make every effort to get back to every post that I see that's directed towards us. And again, really encourage you to interact with us online there. We're at Policy Advantage at just about every social media site. And of course, our URL and agency website is PolicyAdvantage.com. Other than that, I think we've accomplished what we were setting out to take care of here today. I appreciate you being here, and I'm looking forward to some future broadcasts. Again, this is my first run. It seemed to go pretty well. Going completely from scratch here, talking off the top of my head and hosting in more of a radio show type format, but it would be good to interact with others in the future on the show here. Have a good evening, a good week. Make sure to connect with us online, and I will talk to you in the next show.